see how do we protect ourselves online despite the increasing need to actually have dictatorship. Back in the days, you had an option to say, I can actually remain in the analog, but as we proceed, we are getting to realize that we're in dictator every day, and that dictator means that you have to either work online, we are creating personal brands online. There's a lot that is really happening online. I find myself, I have quite a number of platforms where I have my account. I have a lot of digital assets that I'm trying to put out there. There are lots of things we are really doing online. So I'm privileged to have Mr. John Chibuye, who is an expert in this area. He'll be taking us into this journey. So I want to just read his profile before we get started. All right. All right. So today's speaker is going to take us through how we can protect ourselves within the digital economy. Mr. John Chibuye, who is an IT management, cybersecurity, and IT audit professional. He has over 11 years experience in aspects of governance, risk, and compliance, IT assurance, and cyber security risk management. And he has this across different industries, including financial institutions, consulting firms, and multinational organizations. Currently, he serves as the IT audit service lead at CyberGate Defense in Dubai, where he leads the information security audit, strengthens governance, and organizations in meeting for cybersecurity regulatory requirements. John has extensive experience in evaluating and strengthening IT controls, implementing risk management frameworks, and compliance in international standards such as ISO 27001, another ISO there, and then the NIST cybersecurity framework, among other things that John is doing. In terms of his expertise, both the professional certifications, so certified information systems manager, certified in risk management and information systems control, certified information systems auditor, certified cyber security, and also the certified public accountants. He's also an active member of ISACA, ISC2 PECD, and contributes the profession through the ISACA exam item development working group. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. John to take us through this discussion and be able to share with us. Please, John, in case I've left out any aspect on your profile, please feel free to just add and say, this is also something that I do that maybe our audience will be able to connect with.
Yes, thank you very much, Coach Samuel, for that humble introduction. Definitely, there is so much out there that I get to do, but due to the limitation, we have to make it as brief as possible. But I'm glad to be part of this meeting. Thank you very much for inviting me this evening. It's been quite some time. We've been trying to link up, but we've been getting on and off here and there because of my busy schedules. But finally, I had to create the time to speak to the audience. Coach Samuel, thank you very much. I know there is quite a lot that you're handling, but again, this transformational club, I believe, is here to be a game changer, mostly for people who are in the employment sector and are looking to grow in their career. So thank you very much for spearheading this initiative. And I believe we're here all to learn from one another. I cannot say that I am a master of the information that I'm going to give you, but at the end of the day, I have an upper hand somewhere because this is what I do on a day-to-day. Basically, that's briefly about me. Probably something else. I run what we call mentorship classes, mainly for the youth and teenagers who aspire to join us, the cybersecurity industry or the tech industry, because one thing we must appreciate is the fact that this is a very growing industry and it is having so many opportunities out there. So I run holiday programs for these young professionals, and I do mentor them into making them focus into the cybersecurity career. So thank you very much, Coach Samuel. So please allow me to begin with my presentation. Kindly allow me to turn off my camera for the reason being that I'm going to be sharing on another screen. So in case I keep looking here and then I have to change my eyes to another screen, then it will look a little bit funny. So allow me to turn off my camera for now, and then I'll turn it on later. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So let me share my screen so that we can begin. Okay. So can my screen be seen?
Yes, you can see your screen. You can put in presentation mode.
Okay.
Awesome.
So are we there in presentation mode?
Yes, we are there.
Okay, that is good. So today's topic that we're going to talk about is not something that is so new. This is something that we live with on a day-to-day. And the fact that we are living in a very interconnected world right now, there is no other time that we can find to talk about these matters just like today. You realize that we've connected out so much of our lives through the social media, how we manage our finances, how we manage our personal data, how we store our data, be it office data, be it our personal data. There is so much that we've stored out there in the public through the internet, and definitely will require to be protected at whatever cost. We've adopted very sophisticated devices, the mobile phones, the laptops. So many of these devices have come into our lives and we are using them to enhance our lives. But at the same time, they are also opening up our lives to the cyber attacks. So much as we realize that sometimes we may have failures here and there when it comes to our digital life, most times it is not about a matter of technological failure. It is usually about ourselves being reluctant to a few things here and there, being opening ourselves to these attacks here and there, knowingly or unknowingly, sometimes by just a mere click of a button. And we find ourselves out there being exposed. Our passwords have been exposed, our usernames, our credentials have been exposed out there. And there is no better time to talk about this apart from today, or apart from now. And just like I always tell people, sometimes we do these errors online, not because we do not know, but because probably we've just relaxed our cyber stance a little bit. So you find that someone knows out there that there is these forms of attacks, but because they're a little bit reluctant that day, or they are just a little bit lazy that day, they'll go on and do whatever they are doing, and they end up finding themselves exposed to cyber attacks. So you realize that most of the times these incidents don't happen because of technological failure. The technology is okay and it is acting well, but because people have been tricked and probably they are unaware of some of these risks. So what do we intend to achieve in today's discussion? One, we are going to understand the common cyber threats that are affecting everyday users, especially through the social media, through the emails, and our own personal devices. Then two, we are going to also recognize the signs of cyber attacks, such as phishing, emails, suspicious links, and fake online accounts. Then 3, we are going to learn practical steps to protect our personal information and also our personal devices and accounts from cyber criminals. And then 4, we shall also apply basic cybersecurity practices to secure our accounts, emails, personal devices, and so on. Then 5, we shall briefly look at how to respond to a suspected cyber attack and know the immediate actions to take. So why does cybersecurity matter? Just like I've said that right now we've opened ourselves so much to the internet, and also we are living in an age where data has become the new gold. So many people out there are operating in the dark web, and what they are doing is to just collect as much data as possible. So for them, the moment they get access to data, their day is done. So they'll collect as much data as possible, store it in whatever form they want to store it, use it to test their models as much as they want. And all unknowingly, you are going to release out this data to them through the different forms that we shall later see. So cyber attacks right now are on the increase. Almost every second, there is an attack that is happening. And these attacks are not only targeting companies, they're also targeting individuals, because just like I've said, they are looking for as much data as they can. We are in an era of artificial intelligence, and these artificial intelligence tools here are trained on data. So the more data they've trained these AI tools on, the more accurate they become. So the moment they get hold of any form of data, trust me, they are going to use it the way they want. And what are they using this information for? It can be personal information, it can be company information. They're using it for identity theft. They are creating, you've seen people saying online that, they have created millions and millions of bots that are being used on these social media accounts. And you find that many of these bots are picking out information from the public, but you find that they are using information that is basically provided by a person or a real person. And then they're using that information to create these bots. And they are running everywhere on social media, be it on WhatsApp, be it on TikTok, be it on YouTube and all that. So they are using they're using your information to create artificial persons, or what we call identity theft. They're using this information also to carry out financial fraud. Just imagine if someone has been able to fish out your financial information from you. They will use this information to commit what we call financial fraud. Blackmail. This is so common. Right now, I think you've seen, just like we from this election period in Uganda, you realize that many people were using the internet to blackmail others, simply because they have some information about them. Someone gets some information about you, creates another page. It can be a social media page, and they use it to blackmail another person when it is not actually you who is posting that information. But because someone got access to your information, they're using it to blackmail others in your name. Then also account takeover. This is the moment someone has information about you, they have your usernames, they have your login credentials, they can always do what we call account takeover. So you wake up in the morning and you find that you no longer have access to your page. It can be a social media page, it can be any other account has been taken over. So just a few statistics on cyber attacks. This is a recent report where I picked this information. So this report says that on a daily basis, we have over 2,200 cyber attacks that are occurring. Now, these attacks here consist of those targeting individuals and also those that are targeting companies. Then, when you also look at another worrying statistic, is that worldwide cyber attacks are projected to increase by 30% in this year, which is 2026. And we are looking at approximately 22% of all data breaches resulting from phishing scams. Now, later in our discussion, we shall look at what phishing is. And then we're also looking at 90% of cyber attacks begin with phishing. So basically what they are doing is they are tempting you to give out as much information as possible to them, and then they will have these cyber attacks being launched and they will be successful. Another worrying statistic is that we have 3.4 billion phishing emails that are being sent out every day. So amongst the 3.4 billion phishing emails, don't you think one will land into your email box? One will land into your mailbox, be it a work mailbox or a personal mailbox. So among all the 3.4 billion, at least one will land somewhere. Then 18% of successful company phishing attacks came from mobile devices. We're at a time where we're accessing our company applications on our mobile devices, personal mobile devices. And that definitely is also exposing our company data to these phishing attacks. Then when you look at mobile users that are attacked, unfortunately I could not get any statistics from Uganda, but I looked out for some of our neighbors who are having these statistics being collected. For Kenya, we're having 11.42% of mobile users that are being attacked. In Nigeria, we have 10.72%, and then Algeria, we're having 11.93%. So there could be more out there relating to us in Uganda, but because probably this data has not been collected, we cannot have it published. Now, let's dive into the common cyber attacks that are facing us on a daily. We have what we call phishing emails. So basically what a phishing email is, someone will send you an email and it will have some suspicious attachments, it can have some suspicious links, and you'll be tempted to click one of these links. These links, the moment you click on them, they may be requesting for your login credentials. You'll put them in there and boom, you'll be gone. Your information will be captured. Then we have also what we call fake social media messages. So basically, these can come from accounts that pretend to be legitimate accounts. This can be from the bankers, they can be from insurance companies, they can be from even corporate institutions. So someone will create a fake social media account that looks like a legitimate social media account. And then you'll find yourselves falling prey to these social media messages. Recently, there was one of our biggest commercial banks in Uganda that tried to roll out what we call WhatsApp banking. Basically, with WhatsApp banking, you could log into your WhatsApp and then, initiate a chat with this chatbot on WhatsApp that is belonging to that financial institution, and then you'll be able to do your transactions through WhatsApp. Now, later they realized that they have had so many issues regarding these cyber attacks emanating from social media, all from their WhatsApp page. So what they did is to close off or to shut down that service. So that means that much as we are having this advancement in technology, the risk is still out there. Malicious links, basically you find that, these have been shared, they can be shared on social media, they can be shared on your email, they can be shared on your corporate emails. And so the moment you tap into these links, you have your information being shared with these cyber attackers, and then they're able to do whatever they want with your information. Password hacking, this one is a little bit common, whereby we're having people who are out there trying out different passwords to see that they can gain access to your accounts. Malware infections, these also come in through different forms. They can come in through a link, whereby you click a link and then at the end of the day you have malware that has been installed onto your device. Then when we look at social media threats, these come in quite a number of forms. They can be in form of fake friend requests. They can be in form of account impersonation, which I've already talked about. Someone creates a fake social media page using another person's information, and then they keep posting information relating to that person. So what they do, they just keep looking out for what that person has posted, and then they'll also repost it onto their social media pages. They can also be in form of scam investment offers. Someone will come in and they'll sell you an idea that looks real, but when actually it is a scam. And I've seen quite a number of falling prey to these social media scams. Then the other one we have is malicious links in messages. These ones can be sent through WhatsApp. They can be sent through your X. They can be sent through Facebook and Instagram and all those. So someone will send in this malicious link. The moment you tap into that link, probably your account can be taken over. Probably they can pick out information from your social media pages, and then they can use it for other suspicious purposes. Then data harvesting from public profiles. We're in an era where people have made it a habit to put out as much information about them on these social media pages. You find someone can profile themselves from the time they wake up till the time they close. They take rest. Find someone is profiling themselves from the time they are checking in at the airport till the time they are coming back. So much information is out there about us, and this all is exposing us to social media threats. So in other words, someone does not even need so much effort to try to know who you are, what you do on a daily, where you work, what what you're about to do, what your future plans are. They basically go out and look out in your social media pages, and they will be able to get this information. The more reason you find that many of these institutions right now, when you do apply for a job in many of these institutions, what they are going to do is at a later stage when you've passed the interview, sometimes even before you go into the interviews, they will ask for all your social media handles. And what are they trying to look out for? They are trying to look out for what kind of information you do post on your social medias, whether it is going to expose their company or it is going to protect their company. Also, you find that most of these embassies, whenever you want to travel, many of them are asking for your social media accounts. What are they trying to find out? They're trying to find out what you are posting on those social media handles. So how do our accounts get hacked? Our accounts get hacked in quite a number of ways. They get hacked in form of weak passwords. Weak passwords, we mean passwords that are not meeting the password complexity requirements. I always encourage people that the longer your password and the more complicated it is, the safer it is. I cannot guarantee that it is 100% safe, but the safer. Basically, what we are looking at is we are looking at at a password that is at least a minimum of 8 characters long. And these characters must be a combination of alphanumeric characters. They can be also having special characters. Then basically, the longer you make it, the more safer it is. Then using same passwords across multiple accounts. So you find someone is using one password over 10 social media accounts. One time I was having a discussion with some of the teens that I do mentor, and this person was telling me they have 10 social media accounts. And you find that all those 10 social media accounts, they're having the same password being used across. So that alone is exposing that teenager to account takeover. The moment someone can get hold of one password, they can spread it over your different social media accounts, and they shall be able to get access to them. More so, we are using the same passwords also for our work-related activities. You find that you're using the same password for your social media and you're using the same password for your corporate email, and you find that everything is exposed out there. The moment they get hold onto your username, onto your password, they can be able to spread them over a wide number of spectrum, and they can be able to gather as much information on your social medias and even on your corporate information as much as they can. Then auto login through saved passwords. Now, as a matter of convenience, we're finding ourselves saving all passwords on our devices. So these devices come with what we call password managers. And then every time you want to log into that device, you just have to have that password saved in there, and you do not have the hassle of inputting your password every time you want to use that account, every time you want to use that page, or even that device. That is also exposing our accounts to getting hacked. In the short run, it may be a reliever, but in the long run, the moment your credentials get compromised, you are basically going to get hacked. Phishing links, these I've already talked about them. Someone will send you an email with a phishing link, and the moment you tap in that link, you do not know what information it is going to pick from you. It can be a username, it can be a password, it can be anything that an attacker can get to compromise your account. Fake login pages, someone will definitely create a login page that looks like the legitimate login page. And the moment you tap in that page, you will input your username, your password, or even other credentials, and you will get hacked. Public personal information, this I've already talked about it. We are pushing out so much information about ourselves out there onto the internet. Spyware on our devices. So as we keep clicking these malicious links, you do not know that probably you are installing a spyware on your device. So whatever information that whatever activity that you're doing on your device, it is being sent through to another person who is the initiator of that spyware tool. So as you're working, they are picking whatever you are working on. Let's dive briefly into these phishing attacks. So phishing, I'll take it like a bait. Someone takes a bait on you. Just think of it in like someone who has gone fishing. So they'll put a bait on that hook and throw it into the water. Now, this fish will come with the intention of eating off the bait, not knowing that what is on that bait is also a hook. So as it is trying to eat the bait, it is also being hooked. And at the end of the day, it will be picked onto that hook, and it will be taken out of the water. So this is the same thing that happens with phishing. So they will send you an email that will look enticing, and at the end of the day, that email is going to be having what we call links. You'll be tempted to click on those links, and you'll find yourself being hacked. And hacking, all these phishing emails do not basically, are not basically meant for non-technical people, all people who are not in tech. Recently, someone pushed out this screenshot that you're seeing here. And what they did is that they labeled a malicious file 2026 salary increase.pdf.exe. So this is basically an executable file. So the moment you click on it, it will execute on your device. And half the company opened it, including the incident response team. So this would definitely be quite absurd that even the team that is responsible for protecting the company has fallen prey to this attack. So you find that it's not just a matter of someone being knowledgeable about these phishing attacks. It's about this continuous awareness. These attacks will keep coming each and every day. They can come in any form. You do not know the kind of form in which they'll come, but they'll keep coming. And at the end of the day, in case you're not aware of the different techniques that they're using in these phishing attacks, you'll end up falling prey to them. So a phishing email can, I just picked out one to just show us how it can look like. So these phishing emails will have some of these characteristics. One, they'll have what we call too good to be true offers. So every time you see an email that is coming in and it is looking to be too good, okay, ask yourself at the background, at the back of your mind, what have I done to qualify to get this gift card? It can be in any form, but I'm just picking out this simple one here so that we can get to know the real how this phishing really happens. So it can be they'll always have what we call too good to be true offers. Then two, they will always have discrepancies between the sender's name and the email address. So you may find that not all of them will be manifested in this kind of form, but at least if you try to see one of these characteristics, then you must begin suspecting that this could be a phishing email. Then we have what we call suspicious links. These I've already talked about them. When you see something like click here to redeem, be very cautious. Before you click, think, okay? Then when you see also these common grammatical errors, someone is typing dear customer, and the dear that they are typing is basically the animal. So that can always give you a hint that what I'm looking at is a suspicious or a phishing email. Demands urgency. Now, sometimes what these people even do, they even include threats. Your account will be closed. Your email account has been compromised. Click here to immediately verify your account. We are suspending your account. So they'll come in with these kinds of threats, they'll demand that kind of urgency. So every time you see this kind of urgency, always think twice before you click on these links, okay? They'll request for sensitive information. Sensitive information, they'll tell you, log in now. The moment you log in, you'll put in your username, you'll put in your password, and you do not know what those credentials are going to be used for. Suspicious attachments, definitely that is something that you should always look out for. So these phishing emails here do not discriminate whether you're an expert or you're a non-expert, whether you're technical or non-technical, they'll always come through. But how do you identify them? These are just some of the few ways you can identify these phishing emails. Then another common kind of attack that we are seeing these days that is on the rise is what we call a QR code attack. So what happens is these people will design these QR codes, okay? And then they will put malicious links, they will embed malicious links into these QR codes. The moment you scan this QR code using your device, most times you scan these QR codes using our phones. The moment you scan that QR code, it will take you to a fraudulent website. It will download malicious software onto your device, or it even will take you to a phishing page. So we are seeing this on the rise right now. Why? Because people are realizing that right now people can identify a fake URL. So what they are doing is they're taking it a step higher. They're taking it a notch higher to embed these malicious URLs into QR codes. And then because we love scanning QR codes, you want to see what is under that QR code. You will end up scanning that QR code, and at the end of the day, your device is going to be compromised. You are going to install what we call spyware on your devices just as a result of scanning a QR code. So these QR code attacks come in quite a number of ways. One is what we call the QR phishing, or what we call the quishing. So with this phishing, these attackers are going to embed they are going to embed what we call fake login pages into these QR codes, and then they will steal your credentials. Now, sometimes what they do, they are embedding fake bank login pages in here. They are they're also embedding what we call fake corporate email login pages here. So you scan this QR code and it will take you to say a bank login page. And then knowingly or unknowingly, you are going to input your banking details into this web page. Before you know it, the attacker would have gained access to all your banking credentials, and then they will be able to siphon your accounts through this QR code. Now, to make matters worse, some of us have not embedded some of these technologies, which we shall later talk about, to provide an additional layer of security. So the moment you scan and input your details, you're gone. Then we have what we call malware downloads. So what these cyber attackers do is that they will embed malicious applications or files under these QR codes. So by mere look at this QR code, you cannot see these malicious applications or files. So those files can come in form of spyware, whereby you are going to, or whatever you do on your device is going to be relayed onto the person who owns that spyware. Or they can even come in form of keyloggers, whereby every time you stroke your keys, this person is getting all the information that you are inputting onto your device. Or they can even come in form of remote access malware. So basically what someone is doing is, after scanning this QR code, whatever you're doing on your device, someone can remotely access your device. And then the other bit we have is the payment fraud. So what people are doing these days, we want to make our lives so simple, okay? That instead of having to visit a URL for you to make a payment, you just want to scan a QR code. So what these people are doing is they are replacing legitimate QR codes, payment QR codes, with malicious QR codes. So the moment you scan this QR code, it is going to take you to a payment gateway, whereby you will input all your details, how much you want to pay, and before you know it, you've made payments to the wrong people. Okay. Now, I've seen this especially in public places, whereby, for example, in public parking spaces, you find that some of them have embedded those QR codes, payment QR codes, in those spaces. So what these attackers do, they'll change that QR code from the legitimate one to the this suspicious one, and then you'll scan and make payments to the wrong payment gateway. Then we also seen these QR code attacks in form of Wi-Fi network connectivity. So what they do is you've seen these QR codes in these public places. For example, these restaurants, whereby someone is going to just provide you with a QR code in case you want to connect to their internet or to their Wi-Fi network. So instead of you connecting to the legitimate Wi-Fi network, because someone has change the QR code, you're going to end up connecting to a network which is being tracked by a malicious attacker. So let us always be very careful with these kind of QR codes that we are scanning. And right now it is getting so common that almost everywhere, because now it is trendy, to scan these QR codes just to simplify your life. So before you start scanning these QR codes, ask yourself, where is this QR code located? when you scan, verify the links that are coming in with those QR codes. Okay. Then we also have other forms of attacks that are on the increase, and those are what we call service set identifier spoofing, or what we call SSID spoofing. So what these attackers are doing right now is they are creating fake wireless access points with the same or identical SSIDs as the legitimate network. Look at this image right here of Starbucks. You find that there is Starbucks with uppercase, there is Starbucks with lowercase, there is Starbucks free Wi-Fi, and so on. All these are SSIDs that are being broadcast, for example, in a Starbucks coffee shop. Okay. Now, it may be very difficult for you to identify which one is legit, which one is fake. And the moment you tap into these, you connect into these fake wireless access points, okay, all SSIDs, you are likely to get your accounts hacked into. Now, these SSIDs are everywhere. They can be at your favorite spot where you take your coffee. They can be at airports. They can be in public spaces. And because they know that we love to be on the internet, and almost everything right now is on the internet, they'll create these fake SSIDs in these places. At least one or two people is going to fall prey to these fake SSIDs. And what is going to happen is you're going to start checking your bank accounts. You're going to start logging into your social media pages. You're going to start logging into your Gmails and all that. And as you're logging into these, all these accounts here, someone is busy spoofing your data. They are busy taking all your credentials from you, and before you know it, they have access to your pages, and they have hacked them. So, as much as we are using, we want this convenience of joining onto these wireless networks in public spaces. Let us always do what we call verification. Okay, verify these wireless networks as much as you can. Now, sometimes what happens is we go into these spaces, and just because we want that convenience, we do not even consult with the staff in there. The staff in there will always tell you that this is a legit SSID or this is a fake SSID. And because these attackers know that these public places here, people go into these places and they're basically enjoying the service free of charge, they'll make this, they'll make it very simple for you, okay? Most of these legit SSIDs will have what we call authentication pages. Like, you're not going to go into an official SSID. You're not going to join onto an official wireless network without being authenticated. At least they'll request for your username, they'll request for your password. No, they'll request for your, probably they can request for your email, they can request for your phone number, so they can authenticate who you are. So what these attackers are going to do is that they'll make it even very simple for you. They'll open up these wireless access points. They'll make it, free to join. So you do not need any authentication. Now, every time you see something like that, always be very, very careful. So how do you identify that an SSID has been spoofed? One, you're going to see multiple Wi-Fi networks with the same or similar names, just like we've seen there. Then you're going to see you're going to realize what you call slow or unstable internet connections. Then you're also going to see login pages appearing repeatedly. So most times these legit SSIDs are going to give you one login page. Now, how are you going to identify that this is fake? Sometimes what is going to happen is they'll produce multiple login pages. These fake SSIDs are going to produce multiple login pages. So the moment you see that, be very cautious before you proceed. You may be opening a can of worms for your device and also for your pages. Then I've also talked about these SSIDs without passwords or authentication pages. The moment you see an SSID that is open, be very careful. And what do I always encourage people to do is make sure that you always adopt what we call zero trust. Do not trust anything on the internet, be it on the network, be it on the internet. Always do what we call verification. Don't go into a public place and then see these many SSIDs and then just do a ping pong and say, let me just click onto this. You may be clicking onto a fake SSID that is going to open up your device or your network or all your social media pages or even other accounts to hacking. Then how do we ensure briefly, how do we ensure that we are safe? Wi-Fi is now very common. Almost every place has a Wi-Fi connectivity, be it our homes, be it in our workplaces. Now, what is happening in some workplaces, they are replacing even these wired LAN connections with wireless LAN connections. So how do we ensure safety while we are connecting onto these wireless networks? One, let's always use strong Wi-Fi passwords. I've already talked about strong passwords. At least have a minimum of 8 and above characters being used on to these passwords. Then two, always change your default router passwords. Now, when you're in your home and you install Wi-Fi wireless connectivity, most times these routers come with what you call default passwords. Now, these default passwords can be admin123, admin1, admin2. Those default passwords are known everywhere. Someone who is in the business of hacking will always know these passwords. So the moment you're saying that you are installing wireless connectivity, say in your home or in your office, make sure that you change the default router passwords. Make sure that you make those passwords as complicated as possible, okay? Then enable strong encryption. Now, by encryption, we mean you are trying to, what you're trying to do is to make sure that your the information that you're transmitting over that network is encrypted or is in a form that cannot be seen by you are trying to the information that we are trying to relay over that connectivity is not in plain text. That is what we mean when we talk of encryption. Now, wireless connectivity has its own encryption standards. There is what we call WPA2 or WPA3. These are the most secure encryption standards for any wireless connectivity. So the next time you are installing wireless connectivity, be it in your office, be it in your home, make sure that the wireless protected the WPA encryption standard that you're using is either WPA2 or WPA3. Whenever you log into this router, you can always change these wireless configurations. Then the other bit is avoid using public Wi-Fi for sensitive activities. Things like connecting to your corporate applications, things like connecting to your banking applications, things like connecting to your corporate email IDs. Please avoid connecting to those sensitive activities using public Wi-Fi. It is not safe at all. Most so you do not know whether you're connecting to a legit SSID or you're connecting to a fake SSID. The other bit is turn off your Wi-Fi whenever you're not using it. Now, this is common knowledge. Many people, once they connect onto a wireless, once they have their connectivity done, they will always leave it open until probably the data runs out or probably until power is off. As a precaution, every time you're not using that wireless network, please turn it off. Every time it is visible to outside eyes, you are making it you're making it vulnerable. People are going to look out for, people are always on the lookout for these broadcast SSIDs. So the moment you leave it on every time, you always, that means you're exposing it to attackers. Update your router firmware. These routers come with what we call firmware. So every time you leave your router firmware unupdated, that means that there are what we call vulnerabilities that can be exploited by these attackers. And every time there is an open vulnerability, that makes it very easy for an attacker to get access to your internet, to your wireless, to your wireless network. It can be a home network, it can be an office network. Then also the other bit is always create what we call guest networks. Now, this is very common, most so for people who are having connectivity, wireless connectivity in their homes, because probably we do not envisage any attack, so we leave our connections open. You find that any guest who comes in, you just give them access to your wireless connectivity. Now that is very risky. You realize that right now we are in a digital age whereby our devices in a home, be it the lights, be it the doors, be it the TVs, be it most of these devices, because right now even we're having, for example, ACs that are being connected onto the internet. So the moment you start giving out your access to these, to whoever comes into your home, you're opening up your wireless network to attacks. So my advice to all of us is that, be it a workplace, be it a home wireless connectivity, always create what you call a guest network. Now, most times these guest networks should be segregated from the corporate networks or from the main networks. Create that guest network with its own restrictions and its own security requirements. Okay. Then always monitor what we call connected devices. Now, the moment you have a wireless network, you do not need a port. So you will not see someone physically connecting to your network, just like you can have a LAN connectivity. So the moment someone has your SSID, they have your password, they can connect onto this network. So every time you have these wireless networks in your home, in your offices, make sure that you always monitor who is connected onto these networks. The moment you cannot identify the person who is connected, please disconnect them immediately. Because you may find that someone is connected onto your network, but what actually they're doing is that they're collecting information from your network. Remember, we have what we call work from home initiatives in most of these companies here right now, that someone can sit in their home as long as they have connectivity. They can access work applications, they can do work belonging to their offices right in the comfort of their home. So the moment you do not trust the people who are connected onto your network, please disconnect them immediately. And this is always as a result of not segmenting our networks. Personally, what I do in my home, because I have this wireless connectivity, I make sure that I have segmented this network onto the guest and also onto our own network, which we use at home. And also the devices themselves that are connected onto that network have their own network on which they are connected. So segment these networks as much as possible. Do not leave your wireless connectivity or your wireless network to be open to everyone. Then also disable automatic connection to unknown networks. We have this habit of connect, okay? Because you do not want the inconvenience that comes with the authentication and all that, you leave your device to connect to that network the moment it detects it within its vicinity. That is also very risky. You may find that every time you connect onto this network, people are collecting information about you. You may not know that the device is connected, but because you prompted your device to connect to this network, every time it's within its vicinity, people are collecting information from your device. So how do we secure our mobile applications? One, always ensure that you download applications from trusted stores, okay? Or from trusted sites. There are so many application stores out there, but again, those with illegitimate applications are so many. So every time you download your application from an illegitimate source, you are opening your device to hacking, you're opening your networks to hacking, you're opening up your data to being hacked. So always download applications from trusted store. We have, for those who are using Android devices, you have what we call Google Play. Then those who are using Apple devices, you also have your own stores there. Then also Windows has its own store. So always download applications from trusted stores. Then the other bit you can always do is to check application reviews and ratings. Before you download any application from any of these stores, always look out for the reviews. People will always give reviews who have downloaded that application before you. Every time you see that an application has so many reviews and negative reviews, please do not proceed to download that application. When you see an application having a very low rating, okay, you know, they always give them ratings. So I think the highest rating is a 5. The moment you see that an application has a rating of 2, a 3, and so on, please desist yourself from downloading that application. The application that you're downloading could be full of bugs that are exploitable, okay? Then also review application permissions. Now we have this simply because of the convenience, all we do it knowingly or unknowingly. As we are downloading and installing these applications here, these applications are always going to request us to have access to our contacts. They are going to request us to have access to our location. They are going to ask us to have access to our files and so on. So because you do not read some of these things as you're downloading these applications, you keep accepting, accept. And before you know it, this application is tracking everything that you're doing on your device, be it where you are, be it your consumption patterns, be it the applications that you are, that you're accessing on a daily, be it your banking application. So it is basically collecting a lot of information about you, but it is all because you accepted some of these terms and conditions as you are downloading this application. So every time you are you are installing an application, always be cautious with the kinds of permissions that you're giving these mobile applications. You may be giving these applications here more access than what they actually require. For example, if you are having, if you're installing a navigation application, I do not see why a navigation application should be able to ask you for access to your contacts and you give access to that application. I do not see why that navigation application is going to request for access to your files. It does not require those permissions. So always minimize the kinds of permissions that you're giving these mobile applications. The more permissions that you're giving these applications, the more susceptible to being hacked you are. So minimize application permissions as much as possible. And even if you've given these permissions before, you can always go into the settings of these applications and minimize the permissions that you've granted them. So it's not too late. You can even do it today. Keep your applications up to date. Every time you see an update on an application, it means that there is a vulnerability that has been identified with this application. So every time you see an update, make sure that you do an update. Recently, I was having a discussion with someone, and I realized that they last updated their device, okay, in 2022. That's when they last had the update. But you imagine from 2022 up to today, so many patches have been sent out for this operating system. But because they are not cautious about updating their applications, about updating their systems, they are still running on what we call vulnerable application operating system. They are running on outdated application software. Okay, so let us ensure that every time these applications these updates are available, we do what we call an update on our applications. Then also let us always log out of applications on shared devices. Now, every time you log into a device for the first time, it will prompt you to either store that, to store the credentials or not. So some of us unknowingly request these devices to store our credentials. But remember, this is a shared device. Now, the moment it is a shared device, anyone who gets access to that device can be able to get access to your account. So every time you store that your credentials in that device and it is a shared device, be sure that someone else can get access to your information. Then also use strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication. So basically what this does is that it is adding, what two-factor authentication does is to add an extra layer of security for your application, for your device. So that instead of having just a username and a password, there's another layer whereby you're required to have either an authentication token or a PIN that has to be generated for you to complete that login process. So where possible, always enable two-factor authentication. Then also remove applications you no longer use. So every time you realize that there is an application that you no longer need on your device, please always uninstall them, okay? Because you may be leaving these applications run on your devices and they are consuming your resources, they're also collecting your data unknowingly. So if you're no longer using an application, just uninstall that application. Then the other bit of security that you can always look at is locking sensitive apps. So now I'm looking at a 360 approach to ensuring security. Instead of just having a PIN or a password for your device, when you realize that this application contains sensitive information, you can also lock this application. You can also have passwords enabled at application level. So instead of someone that if someone accesses the device, they'll be able to access this application. When you have a lock, or when you have put a password or a PIN or a Face ID on this application, this particular application, it will mean that that person has requires another extra layer of authentication for them to get access to that application. So password security, briefly, I've talked about this before. Let's always use strong passwords. I've given you what it requires to have a strong password. Avoid easy to guess passwords. Things like admin123, things like your favorite pet name, your child's name, your husband's name, your wife's name, your girlfriend's name. Let's always try to avoid using these as passwords because they can easily be guessed. Use different passwords for each account. Every time you're having these accounts here, make sure that you try as much as possible to use different passwords, and that will definitely prevent you from having these passwords spread over all your accounts once one of them gets compromised. Then also we can also consider using password managers. There are password managers that are available. For example, there is what we call LastPass. There is what we call Bitwarden. And this, what they basically do is they generate and securely store strong passwords. So if you feel that your passwords, you have so many passwords that you do not have control over, then you better think of having what we call password managers. They'll help you generate these secure passwords, and they'll also help you store these passwords. Do not share passwords. This is common knowledge. I don't need even to explain much. Change your passwords regularly, even if it is not a requirement, even if it's not mandatory, please change your passwords as much as possible. Avoid saving passwords on public or shared devices. I'll basically look through how we secure our devices, because these devices keep a lot of our information. For the Windows devices, always keep your Windows updated. Use Windows Defender Antivirus. Now, this Windows Defender Antivirus and then the Defender firewalls always come with legitimate or licensed Windows licenses. So if you're using a pirated Windows license, you may not be able to enjoy these services. Use strong passwords and login protection. Always lock your computer when you are away. Just a mere pressing your Windows key and L can protect your device. Install software from only trusted sources. Use disk encryption. There is what we call BitLocker that comes with these genuine Windows licenses. So utilize that service. What it does is basically encrypting your disks, so that even if someone steals the device and they remove your hard disk, you can, or they will not have access until they have that BitLocker password with them. Back up your data regularly. That one is critical. Then for your Apple IDs, keep your device updated, be it iOS, be it iPad OS or Mac OS. Always ensure that your devices are always updated. Use strong device locks, for example, Face ID or Touch ID. These are available for iOS devices. Please utilize them. Enable two-factor authentication for your Apple ID. Every time you have your two-factor authentication enabled, even if someone gets access to your device, they will need that extra layer of security for them to get access to it. Download applications from only legitimate stores, for example, the App Store. Manage application permissions. These ones I've talked about them. Do not give applications all permissions on your device. Then your Android devices, still same thing. Keep your device updated. Use strong screen locks. Enable two-factor authentication. Download apps from trusted sources. Review app permissions, and so on. So ethical use of AI. Briefly, I would love to talk about this. AI is with us, and we are here to stay with it, and it's not going back anytime soon. But as professionals, we need to use it ethically. Recently, you've seen these posts being made, one by one of these big four firms, and then another one by the Cyber Security Council, about ethical use of AI. So how do we use AI ethically? One, let's avoid sharing sensitive information with these AI tools. Now, every time you share this information with these AI tools, some of them are using it for training purposes. And the more information you share with them, the more you are helping them train. Always verify AI-generated information. As professionals, I know we are always going to be tempted to use AI in our work, which is not bad, but always verify the information that these AI tools are giving you. Always use trusted and approved AI platforms. Many of these companies right now are coming up with their own AI platforms. Please and please, if you're running a corporate entity and you feel you're not ready for the challenges that come with open AI, please do not allow these tools within your environments. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. Be aware of what we call data privacy risks. Every time you input private information into these AI tools, there is a possibility that you are going to be breaching privacy requirements. protect your intellectual property, and then maintain human oversight. Not everything that AI tools are going to give you is true. Sometimes they have what we call hallucinations. So you always have to look out for these hallucinations before you rely on this information. Protecting yourself, I've talked about many of these. Two-factor authentication, avoid clicking suspicious links, update your devices regularly, install from applications from trusted sources, and so on. So what do you do in case you get hacked? Always change your passwords immediately, enable two-factor authentication. In case you've not enabled it, inform your contacts not to trust any messages that are going to be sent henceforth, and then report the incident to the platform managers. And as another step, you can always scan your device for malware. Once you get hacked, that means there is a possibility that your device has also been, malware has also been embedded onto your device, or a spyware. Key takeaways, cyber attacks target everyone. Nobody is spared, be it a corporate entity, be it individuals. All of us are susceptible to cyber attacks. Always be cautious with emails and links. Do not just click email links just anyhow, or even other links that are sent through social media. Protect your social media accounts as much as possible. Why? Because these are having a lot of our digital footprint. Secure your phones and laptops. These I've talked about them. Cybersecurity starts with personal awareness. Always be aware of the kind of environment that you are operating in. And then the last one is, let's always adopt what we call a zero trust approach to security. Zero trust means that you will always have to verify whatever information that you're clicking on, whatever information that you are sharing. Thank you very much for the audience.
Wow, thank you so much, John, for this great presentation. A lot of learning. Those that are on the call, please join me in thanking John for this great presentation. A lot to put into our minds. I know when it comes to technical terms, these are things that sometimes we're like, these are things that are complicated. But I think just like the law, ignorance itself does not save you. I think we've seen a lot of people hacked on WhatsApp. These days, WhatsApp is one of those where there's even a group where I was, where the hacker hacked the group, the admins, and we just had to lose the group itself. So things can happen. So we need to be really, really vigilant about anything that can happen. I think the aspect of trust, do not trust anything, I think for me is the greatest takeaway. I'll give you an example. As we're starting this webinar, we had a spam person who was joining the call. And why I was able to detect that is because we've had an instance before where somebody has joined the call and they have even shared inappropriate content. And that time we're actually streaming the event on our YouTube channel. That's my personal YouTube channel where we have over about 1,000, now 300 people who actually watch our content. And we lost the YouTube channel in the process. Like YouTube flagged the YouTube channel, sent us a notification and said, your YouTube channel has been brought down. We went through a series of course, trying to ask YouTube to really look at our issue, but it was really tedious. It was just after maybe after it was maybe after like the 50th attempt that we were able to regain YouTube channel, and we learned that very much. Sometimes, especially now for us who hold webinars, sometimes we want to have everyone join through the webinars, but you have to make sure that even the people that are joining in are people. So one of the roles that I do as a moderator here, after I know the speaker is speaking, I'm always trying to check out who has joined joining in. The farmers always come with even use they will use funny URLs that you'll be able to detect and be like, this must be a spammer. Sometimes even when we put registration and say organization, the spammers will not fill in those fields and you'll be able to detect. So in the whole search of you want many people to join your call, you need to be able to look out for such kind of aspects. And again, also just to be vigilant, especially now as who are professionals, there are quite a lot of people who are using these spam emails to spam us saying their job opportunities, UN has advertised. And in your mind, you're asking, how can UN use the Gmail to write about an offer? So when you shared about the different areas that we need to be looking at, especially when we are looking at emails that are suspicious, uh, that comes out very well. Being able to authenticate, even those that will use URL emails of organizations. For example, I work with KPMG, so somebody will use maybe KPMG, maybe co.com, but you know very well that KPMG does not have that URL. I've also been in an organization where somebody has actually they hack into your email, they study your transaction, your kind of communications, and then when it comes, let's say you have a supplier or whatever, when it comes to that point in time where that you're asking for the bank account, this person will come through and share the bank account. And before you know, you've made a transfer to a foreign organization that even does not exist. And so I think we just need to be vigilant. So I want to say thank you so much for joining. I know that a lot of professionals, when they see these topics, they're like, I don't think I should join through this conversation. But to all of you that have joined in this conversation from the start, it is something that we are really, really grateful. And even those that are joining us from YouTube, either you're watching this as a replay or you're part of the live audience, we really want to appreciate for being here and for listening to John as he shared all this. And at this point in time, we want to welcome one or two questions from our participants, such that we can be able to answer them. John is answering some of them in the chat box, but in case you want to put on your microphone and be able to ask or add a comment to this conversation, you are more than welcome. Otherwise, good to have each one of you here. Thank you so much for joining the call. It's always a pleasure to see you joining when we call. So do we have any person you could raise your hand?
I
And
see Timothy here has asked, what advice do you give for apps that have subscriptions all in purchase? Just like I've told you, always adopt what we call a zero trust approach. These applications here may be subscription based, but when they are not legit applications. So just imagine how many people out there are going to click on these applications, okay? All are going to purchase these applications. So just imagine if this application is not legit and you spend your coins, okay, on purchasing it, and at the end of the day, you are installing something that is going to introduce malware or spyware on your device, you're also losing the money, okay? So that's why I always said, always verify, okay? And one of the ways you can verify is look at the reviews, okay? The reviews that have been made on this application prior to you downloading it. Most times, if someone has had a negative encounter with this application, they'll put it in that review. So before you take this other step of downloading it and installing it on your device, always look at those reviews. They will always give you a picture of whether the application that you're installing or you're attempting to install is legitimate or is suspicious. Also look at the ratings. Every time you see an application that has a rating that is that has a rating that is very low, always be very cautious before you proceed with downloading and installing that application. Otherwise, you're going to lose two things. You're going to lose you're going to lose the money. You're also going to lose your identity in the process, because you don't know what this application is going to do onto your device. Okay, I hope Mr. Timothy have responded to your question.
Yeah, and maybe similar to that, maybe as you respond, similar to that, you know, there are lots of online payments around where you're putting in your card details, and especially now, if it's, for example, it's a fake app and you're putting in your card details, What are some of the precautions, especially when it comes to buying things online using our cards?
Okay, thank you very much, Coach Samuel. So most times when you look at these online purchases here, they have what we call aggregators or what we call payment gateways. Many of them do not have these payment gateways right within their websites. So they will always send you to another payment gateway for you to make that purchase. Now, that also begins from the website which you are accessing. Always verify that website. I've seen a number of websites that have been coined. For example, if it is Amazon, you find someone is creating, say, Amazon.com. I'm just giving an example. When they're in the UAE, but when you know that the legit website, the legit URL for Amazon in the UAE is Amazon.ae, okay? But you find that someone is sending you Amazon.com. Already that should be able to give you a hint that what I'm trying to log into may be a suspicious URL. Even before you proceed to make the purchases and even input your credit card or debit card credentials there, always verify the link before you do anything. Once you're using a legit page, it will always direct you to a legit payment gateway. And now the other mistake that we are making when you are making these online purchases is storing our credentials. Just like I told you, what these devices are going to do, they are going to prompt you to store those credentials, or even these URLs, they'll prompt you to store those credentials. Please and please do not accept these URLs or these devices to store your credit card or debit card credentials. The moment you allow them to store, in case you have a spyware running on this device, or you have a malware that is running, those credentials can always be accessed by someone else who wants them. One time when I was still working in the bank, we had instances where clients would do online shopping, and then they later come back and say, every day I'm losing this number of dollars, and I'm getting emails that my credit card or debit card is being used. But that all comes up as a result of us, partly could be as a result of us storing our credentials in these shopping URLs. Okay, so avoid storing your details as much as possible. Things to do with your CVV, always keep it a secret. Someone can have your credit card number, but as long as they do not have the CVV and you've also enabled two-factor authentication, then it may be difficult for them to execute the transaction. But the moment those details are available to them, they'll always execute. So one, always verify the shopping link that you are logging on to verify that it is the legit link. And then also always avoid storing those credentials on those on those links. That way you'd avoid some of these scams that do happen online. Coach Samuel? Okay, I think Coach Samuel is off.
I'm here. I'm here. Okay. My network just went off, but I'm back.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
and then I see a question from James Kato. My question is, are there some apps or browser extensions that can be installed to auto-detect phishing emails that you talked about? Now, these phishing, when you look at most of these, these email providers, they are trying to embed these possibilities into their email gateways as much as possible. So, for example, when you're on when you're using Gmail, there is a way you can configure this Gmail to be able to track these spam emails, and they will automatically put them in the junk unless you go and pick it from there. So the moment your Gmail will detect that this could be a spam email or it could be a phishing email, it will always take it in the junk. So most of these mail platforms are trying to embed these browser extensions into their browsers so that they protect you from these phishing emails. So some of these services are available, but what happens is we tend to ignore them, or we tend to bypass them when we are using these applications, all services. So I know they are there. These browser extensions do exist, so use them in case you need this extra layer of protection. Okay. Okay. Charity.
Great.
Okay. Charity is saying, why is it at times I unscribe a site but keep getting emails from the same site?
That's right.
Yeah. Now, sometimes what these, just like I told you, us subscribing to some of these sites here, it means that they have, let me use the simple term, they have injected some spyware or malware on our devices, or they have even put they have executed some code onto our devices. So even if you unscribe, you'll keep receiving these emails simply because someone is keeping track of whatever activity that you're doing on your device. So that's why I always caution people that before you subscribe to any of these, emailing platforms and all that, please be very cautious. Okay, you may be subscribing to something that you will live with, that you'll have to live with for the whole of your time, as long as you're running that account. So the best way possible is to be very cautious as you're subscribing to these platforms. Some of these platforms, even if you unsubscribe, they are going to keep your information, and they'll keep sending you these emails.
All right. Thank you so much, John, for the responses. I know we are 9 minutes over the time. Maybe as you conclude, I would like to, I know you mentioned a lot around AI as you're trying to conclude. And we're in an era where you don't want to avoid artificial intelligence. So most of us are using ChatGPT, and this is where we are pouring a lot of information, because the more you pour information, the more you actually take in ChatGPT to be able to understand you.
Exactly.
So in this era and age where we're trying to leverage AI, despite all the facts that there is a lot of data that we are giving these systems that we may not have control over. Apart from the organizational environments where you can use Copilot or you can use other systems that really protect the data, at individual level, how do we balance the leverage on AI with protecting ourselves? Does it mean that we have to subscribe to the AI platforms? What are some of those things that you recommend in that line?
Yes, thank you very much, Coach Samuel. Now, what I always tell people right now, there are quite very many platforms out there that are AI enabled. So many people are utilizing them. But I always tell people, always minimize information that you're giving these AI tools. We've seen instances where someone, all in the name of getting a fine-tuned report, is going to get a client report and is going to get the whole report with all the details, and they input it into ChatGPT, all in the name of fine-tuning this report. Now, that is absolutely very dangerous. Okay, and just like one of the scenarios that we saw of Deloitte, it is suspected that is what happened. They got a report, and then they put it into this AI chatbot, and then this stuff generated a fine report. But in the process of fine-tuning this report, the chatbot also added in extra information which was not correct, or which was full of hallucinations. Okay. So one of the things that I always advise people to do, always minimize the information that you are putting into these chatbots. Now, I've seen people using AI to transcribe images. For example, someone has a contract that is in, say, PNG form, that is like a picture form, but they want to get the exact words that are in the contract. So what they are going to do, they are going to get that contract and put it into ChatGPT or Copilot. And Copilot or ChatGPT will transcribe this image. They will transcribe this image. Now that is very deadly. You are giving this ChatGPT or this Copilot this contract in its entirety. You do not know where this information is going to end up. And then, so at the end of the day, one of the precautions right now we need to have is minimize as much the information that you feed into these AI tools. I've seen some of us have even given access to these AI tools when we are having meetings, even corporate meetings. Someone is having a corporate meeting and they have given this AI companion tool permission to record this meeting or to transcribe everything in the meeting. You are not aware where this information is being relayed. You do not know where these minutes are being stored. So that all is exposing you as an individual. It's exposing you as a company. So the best thing to do right now, subscribing to these AI tools may not be the ultimate solution at the moment, given even the fact that we do not have a lot of regulation relating to this AI, to the usage of these AI tools. So the advice I always give out to people is minimize the information that you give these AI tools. The more you minimize the information, the more this AI tool will be deprived of information, and it will not be able to prompt you for more information. So in case you want to fine tune something, just pick something small, put it there, fine tune it, and then transfer it where you want to have it placed. So minimize the information as much as possible. That's what I can say.
All right, thank you so much, John. Now I think we are coming to the end of the session. I want to appreciate everyone who has joined through. If this is your first time joining through our webinars, every Friday we have these conversations. You can be able to join us, join the Transformation Professionals Club community. I'm just going to share a link within the chat box here such that you can be informed about any information that we have. So to John, I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming through to share your knowledge all the way from Dubai. We really appreciate and all the efforts that you're really doing. You mentioned about your mentorship of young professionals that want to get into IT. That is really awesome. And as a club, we look at that as an opportunity to be able to work with you because we have people in that line. We have young people that we believe that can tap into your expertise. So I just want you to give your closing remarks as we end this, to share with people how they can find you. I know you are on LinkedIn, so I'll also just share your link here to those that want to connect with John. Very resourceful. So you can be able to just share with us that in your closing remarks as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Fortunately, I'm on a few social media platforms because I always try to limit my digital footprint as much as possible. So I can only be got on LinkedIn. Facebook, I'm there, but not active because I want to limit what I push out there. So I'm mainly active on LinkedIn, and my WhatsApp is always active. So anytime you want to reach out to me, I'm available. My WhatsApp is both the Ugandan number and the Dubai number. Probably let me just drop it on the chat. Right. That is the Ugandan number. Or the Dubai number is 05. But when you're using the Dubai number, please remember to add the +971. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get it. Yeah. So as I close, let me just encourage all of us. Security is everyone's responsibility. In the past, people have always had this thinking that, security is an aspect of IT. We are in an era where everyone is responsible for their security. Now, when you look at most of these cloud-based platforms, there is what we call the shared responsibility model. So the cloud provider is going to give you access to their services, and their role will be to ensure that whatever they're providing you with is secure. But now the role of ensuring security while in the cloud will be your own responsibility. So as we are accessing these SaaS applications here, these web-based applications, always have it at the back of your mind that the responsibility of ensuring security while using these applications and these services is basically entirely on you. So whatever you put out there and backfires on you is no longer a responsibility of the provider. So always have that caution whenever you're posting anything on social media or even anywhere else. Be very cautious. Whom you share your credentials with, which devices you're logging into. Always be very cautious. Adopt what we call a zero trust approach to security. Secure your devices, secure your information, secure your applications. As simple as that. The moment you do that, you will have enhanced your security posture. Thank you very much, and looking forward to having further discussions with you, either on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, John, for coming through. And from myself and the team at the Transformation Professionals Club, we are grateful to hosting you. And we wish you our entire best, especially wherever you are. To all those that have joined the call, thank you so much. Again, this is the Transformation Professionals Club. We are a community of professionals that are looking for opportunities to be able to connect, learn through our webinars, grow, and of course, be able to earn at the end of the day. And through earning, of course, we are leveraging a lot on the online platforms. So this conversation is even very timely. That even as we look at to see how do we earn through online, we need to ensure that we are protecting ourselves. So thank you so much for joining through. Until next time, bye-bye.
So why did we start this community? We found out that many professionals are living in the times where everything is changing, but themselves are not changing. So we came up with this community to be able to help professionals transform. So why did we choose the word Transformation Professionals Club? One, we chose the word club because we wanted a community that can be able to help nurture people, a community which is a safe space for people. So we felt a club environment would help such kind of professionals looking for where they can connect, learn, grow, and earn. So we called it a club. And now why we call it transformational? Because we believe that professionals do not just start from the top. It's a journey of transformation, just like the way you see a butterfly start as a caterpillar and now come through as a butterfly. Each one of us, every day, we're actually transforming into something. So being able to be part of a Transformation Professionals Club makes you to be in an environment that helps you to be able to grow with the changing times. Either today you're working, or the next time you're out of employment, transitioning into something else, either to start your business or to just go into retirement. The Transformation Professionals Club is an environment that grows with you. So that's why we felt that we need to have this community that helps you on that journey. Now, when you look at our logo, you realize that we start with a small t. Now, that small t is not just for graphics. The small t means that each one of us have humble beginnings. And when we embrace our humble beginnings, we can actually grow into people that we're actually proud of. So that's why we felt that we're not just here for the people who are champions. We are here for those that are beginning. We are here there for those that are just starting out. And we believe that just as we started out within our journeys, ourselves as an individual, myself inclusive, we believe that even you who is interested in your growth, who is interested in being a change maker within this country, within this world, you can start small and you can become something out there. So that is why we have this Transformation Professionals Club. Now, I know what is now into your mind, the benefits. What are some of the benefits? Now, one, I'll pick it from our key pillars, which is one is connect. Now, when you're part of the Transformation Professionals Club, you have an opportunity to connect with different professionals. We've always heard about this thing that your network is your net worth. And that means that when you're part of a community, you have a ground to be able to tap into the resources that other people are bringing. But also it helps you to be able to get people that will actually be able to support your vision. It's more of an iron sharpens iron, and that is why we are together as a community. So connection is a very important benefit that you really get from us. Now, the other that we also call our key pillar is the learning. Now, we don't just want to be in a community where we're just connecting, like the way people go to maybe to a bar and are just drinking and maybe they are not doing anything around it. So we want to make sure that when you're part of us, you're learning, we are growing. Each one of us can learn from each other. And that is why we organize these weekly webinars where we learn from each other. We have mentors and coaches that are part of the program. So these come through to be able to teach us, to be able to give us insights, to share from their experience. You might be going through a situation that you think is actually challenging, but if somebody who has gone through the same shares from their journey, you're able to pick one or two things, and before you know it, you're being transformed yourself. So that is one of the other benefits that you really benefit, the benefit of learning. So we also organize different master classes, different mentorship programs. We just completed our public speaking and communications program where we've equipped mentees on various aspects. We go into other topics like personal branding, identifying your purpose, personal leadership, quite a lot of materials that are designed to help you as a professional be able to grow from wherever you are to something great. So that is what we do. So the next aspect is the growth. Now there's learning. Remember, we said we connect, we learn, and now we have an aspect of growth. Now, we do not just want you to learn, a kind of scenario where you're learning as much as you can. We are so privileged that we are in an information age where you can find any information elsewhere, but how are you able to grow? So the community provides that accountability to enable your growth, the inspiration for your growth, the guidance for your growth. Through our mentors, we're able to watch you do what you do. We give you feedback, and before you know it, you're able to transform. I'll give you an example. We've been able to see a lot of transformation. I'll give you an example. We have one of our last participants of the public speaking and communication skills program, Charity, who works with the URA. She has been very transformative in her journey of public speaking. She started with some fears, yet she actually was confident. So when she got the feedback from the public speaking mentorship program, she was able to pick up, and now she's actually a vibrant person. She's starting her YouTube channel. She's running with her Come Alive program. and she's going to transform other people. Even for Atulinda Charlotte, who joined us also, she's an entrepreneur, passionate about the young girls. She is going to do great work because she gained this public speaking. She's going to tell her story because there are quite a lot of young women out there that would love to hear the stories. So make sure that you come through and be able to develop yourself, be able to grow in the process, and before you know it, the world is watching out for you. The world is respecting you. The world is giving you a platform to be able to shine and to transform lives. So that is the aspect of growth. And then the other last one is the earning component. Why? Because we believe that when you earn, when you create income for yourself, that income is actually used to propel your purpose, but also to impact others. So we live in an era where there are lots of professionals that have a lot of knowledge, but because they have been designed in a way that they only think about employment, when the job is away, they can't survive. So we created the Transformation Professionals Club to be a ground to help you be able to create multiple income streams. And we have seen this. We have people who came through as just, but now they have created a business earning from their passions. They are doing a lot of things, not just only for money, but also for impact. And they have transformed who without jobs, but now they have jobs, now they're earning. We've seen who came through as officers, but now we are seeing them grow into supervisory roles, into managerial roles. There's a lot of transformation that we've seen within mentees, especially in our first year. And we believe that this journey will actually continue because when we train and mentor our mentees, these mentees transform. Before we know it, we to have a transformed world. And what a time for us to be part of this journey that is actually transforming the nation. So I believe that if you're watching me and you're not part of the community, this is a call out for you. This is a time to be joined. And you know that you have of what we are calling out for you is to make sure that in whatever you're forming lives, you're connecting, because through connection you're able to elevate yourself, add value to the connections, but also into the values and resources that the connections bring. So those are the benefits that you get when you are a member, and I believe that you'll be able to walk this journey. We have membership programs that run for a year. Before, as you even go through the processes, you also gain lesser discounts, part of our program that we usually have. If you're a member, you have that extra benefit. You also have an advantage of being able to book a mentorship or session with our one of us, and you'll be transformed in the process and do not regret being part of this community. Make the new year to be transformation for you, because you're going to join. Say thanks for watching, and I believe that we'll be able to meet and connect and see how we can be able to grow together, learn, and do great things. What the people, the leaders are here. Thank you so much, and may God